You saw the headline this weekend. It was stunning, devastating, and immediate. Former NFL All-Pro running back Doug Martin is dead at the age of 36. But the full, tragic story will unfold in his final hours, deep in the hills of Oakland, California, is one that feels almost unreal and immediately raises fundamental questions that demand immediate, transparent answers. This is not a simple sports obituary. The details are far more complex, far more controversial. The official record states he died after a struggle with police, following a medical emergency, while in custody. The cause of death remains unconfirmed, and the story of a celebrated athlete dying under these specific, chilling circumstances has created a firestorm the NFL community and the nation cannot ignore. The details are coming in quickly, and we're going to slow down and meticulously break down the full chaotic timeline to try and find out what really happened to the man known as the Muscle Hamster. To truly grasp the shock of this ending, you have to remember the player. For those who knew football, Doug Martin was pure, concentrated power. He was drafted 31st overall in the first round in 2012 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he didn't just meet expectations, he shattered them. Born in Stockton, California, his explosive speed and low to the ground, churning power earned him that unforgettable nickname, the Muscle Hamster, a title he wasn't always thrilled with, but one that perfectly captured his defiance on the field. He ran like a tank, yet moved with the twitch of a much smaller man. In his rookie year alone, Martin put up a historic, unforgettable season, 1,454 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. He was voted to the Pro Bowl and earned All-Pro status. He was a force of nature who carried the entire franchise on his shoulders. He repeated that success in 2015, earning another first-team All-Pro nod. He was a fan favorite, a Boise State legend, and a player who carved his name into the history books of the Buccaneers franchise as one of their all-time great running backs. But this is where the story pivots from athletic glory to an agonizing mystery. Like many athletes, Doug's professional life saw the grind and inevitable decline. Injuries, suspensions, and a one-year stint with the Oakland Raiders slowed his momentum, and he quietly stepped away from football after the 2018 season. After the stadium lights faded and the roar of the crowd went silent, Doug lived a more private existence, close to his family. He wasn't in the news much, maintaining that silence for several years, until that silence was violently and tragically broken this week. The timeline of that fateful Saturday, October 18th, is absolutely critical to the investigation. According to the official statements released by the Oakland Police Department, the incident began just after 4:15 a.m. Officers were dispatched to the 11,000 block of Ettrick Street in East Oakland, responding to an urgent call for a reported residential break-in. But here's the detail that complicates everything, the detail that forces us to pause. Simultaneous to the break-in call, dispatchers received another, parallel report. An individual at the very same location was experiencing a medical emergency. The two incidents, a suspected crime and a desperate plea for medical help, were believed to involve the same person. That person, we now know, was the 36-year-old former NFL star, Doug Martin. The core question, therefore, becomes immediately clear. Was this a man who had broken into a home, or a man who was desperately struggling for help? The truth, tragically, may have been a convergence of both, creating the conditions for disaster. When officers arrived, they located Martin inside the residence. According to the police statement, as they attempted to detain the individual, a brief struggle ensued. We must fully absorb what this means in context. This was a man of immense, professional-grade physical power, a 230-pound force trained to run through tackles and withstand heavy collisions. Any brief struggle with an individual like that is, by its very nature, an intense physical altercation. And this is where the darkest controversy takes root. The police state that after he was taken into custody, following the struggle, the individual suddenly became unresponsive. The man who was reported to be having a medical emergency before officers even arrived, and who then engaged in a physical altercation, was now critically incapacitated. The narrow timeline suggests his fatal medical decline occurred precisely between the moment of physical contact and being subdued by officers. Paramedics were rushed to the scene, providing immediate medical aid, but after being transported to a local hospital, Doug Martin was later pronounced dead. To many in the public, that single sentence, "He was found unresponsive and died in police custody," is a tragically familiar refrain. It's the kind of headline that raises societal questions that demand an urgent answer. How does a man, still in his physical prime, a former professional athlete, end up dead after an encounter with police? And why does it seem to keep happening, particularly to men of color? The immense public pressure led the Alameda County District Attorney's Office to immediately launch an investigation. Because this is officially classified as an in-custody death, the matter is not simply an internal police review. It is a multi-layered investigation involving the OPD's Homicide Unit, Internal Affairs, a civilian-led police commission, and the District Attorney's Office. The officers involved, as a standard protocol, have been placed on administrative leave. But until the most crucial piece of evidence is made public, the official autopsy report, the biggest question remains unanswered. Did the medical emergency cause the struggle, or did the struggle precipitate the fatal medical emergency? Online, the reaction has been explosive, moving swiftly from sincere grief to explosive anger and demand. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization and his alma mater, Boise State, issued heartfelt statements remembering the star player who brought heart and excitement to every game. But social media quickly lit up beyond tributes. The hashtag Justice for Doug Martin began trending fiercely on platforms like X as thousands demanded to see what exactly happened that night. People want total transparency, the body cam footage, the autopsy, the full story, to understand why Doug Martin, who should have been enjoying his retirement, met this shocking end. His death has also forcefully reignited a painful conversation about the hidden struggles of post-NFL life. Several former players have recently spoken out, detailing the difficulties of adjusting once the helmet comes off, the loss of identity, the sudden absence of adrenaline and structure, and the potential mental toll of years of head trauma and physical pain often lead to problems like depression, addiction, or cognitive decline. No one knows what Martin was privately dealing with, but his story now tragically amplifies the need for better support for those who leave the intense glare of the NFL spotlight. The silence from the authorities on the cause of death and the lack of publicly released body cam footage are actively fueling intense speculation and public distrust. Each day that passes without clear, official answers only adds to the mystery and the growing calls for accountability. Doug Martin's legacy on the field will always be remembered. The powerful runs, the records he broke, and the inspiration he gave to so many. But his death in police custody leaves behind a profound and haunting silence. It's a silence filled with agonizing questions. Questions about accountability, about mental health crisis response, and about how such devastating tragedies continue to happen in America. A man who once stood at the very top of his game is gone far too soon, his final moments shrouded in unsettling uncertainty. As these investigations continue, the world is left waiting and watching, hoping that this time, the process will be thorough, honest, and that the complete truth will finally come out. Because Doug Martin deserves that. His family deserves that. And the fans who love him deserve to know what really happened. What do you think? Was this just a tragic accident? Or is there more to the story that the public is not yet being told? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to follow every new development, every twist, and every official finding in this tragic saga, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. There's always more to uncover and more to understand when the headlines fade and the truth begins to surface.